You're listening to the Nerd to Know Media Network.
And welcome back to Nerd to Know Basis here on Phoenix 92.5 FM. With us this week we have, as always, Bryn.
Yo!
We have Kian.
Woo!
And we have Katie.
My hello is not as enthusiastic as Kian's.
I
can
do it again if you want.
He put me to shame.
We'll go for, hang on. We can do this again. Hi, my name's Brian.
Woo! No, Kian, no. Volume, all the way. Kian, you're too loud.
Ooh.
So how's everyone's week been, guys? How are we all feeling?
It's pretty good. Pretty good week. Just still racking through playing some old school Star Wars games, and it's
nice.
Yeah. Jedi Academy, recommend it.
Yeah. That was re-released there not too long ago on on PlayStation Store.
Yeah, I had it ironically. I'm playing it on Steam, but yeah, it was released recently enough on it, and on PlayStation. I went, you know what? I'm gonna go and play that on my computer, when I already purchased it. So yeah, it's
capitalism.
Nice. Yeah,
I mean, I can't talk considering how many copies of Resident Evil 4 I own.
How many?
That gets released? Oh, jeez. Okay, you keep going. I have to think about that.
Yeah, no, I'm like that with Skyrim as well.
Oh yeah,
yeah. You know,
for me, it's Final Fantasy X, and there's no good reason for it, but here we are.
There's a very good reason for it, so you can play
it. In context, it makes slightly more sense.
No.
But only slightly.
I think I'm on 6.
Oh wow,
that's commitment. Though.
Which is saying, and that's saying something considering I still haven't actually bought the Switch port.
I thought I was bad with Skyrim on every console. Nobody let me get Skyrim on the Switch. Just don't let me do it.
No, it's not. It's not a fun experience.
No, it's a fun experience.
But you get the Master Sword though.
Yeah, but you don't get mods, so.
Okay, yes, it's unplayable.
So no Thomas the Tank Engine.
No Randy Savage dragons. It's just
yeah, not worth it then.
It's really not. I mean, you'll only get 60 hours of gameplay out of it, and
if I can't freeze to death, then I'm not interested.
Exactly.
Now, if you want a whole new experience, have any of you all done Skyrim VR yet?
What?
That stuff is wild.
I'd say it is.
It is Skyrim, but when the NPCs are people size, I spent the first 20 minutes of my time in it just up against Alduin's burning that city to the ground at the start. I just went up to the first NPC. It was just so many features. Oh god, I can look around you. It's just stunned.
What's the name of that guy who lives in Whiterun who always makes fun of your sense of style? I would just have to knife him all day long.
Nazim.
Yeah, exactly. Have to knife him and just all day, every day if I play VR.
I think somebody modded it so that you could kill him.
Yeah. I
mods
need that.
Mods have done everything.
Yeah.
He is so condescending, though.
He is. It's all he's so consistently condescending as well. It just makes him into pretty much the arch enemy of the game for me.
I mean, you can literally be like the Thane, the savior of Skyrim, you have killed all of the dragons and everything, and he's still like, oh, I bet you never get into the Cloud District.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's that sort of pettiness that makes me want to end him more than the actual war criminal dragon.
Yeah. I don't care that the companions are secretly werewolves. this guy
There
needs to
what?
get got.
Who told
Spoilers.
you?
Spoilers for a 9-year-old game.
Hey, I'm completely clueless. You guys keep going.
Oh God, I suppose we should get on to our topics for the week at least.
Do we have to?
I'll let you take the plate. I'll let you take the plate on this one because I have no idea what this means. I'm looking at this headline.
So there was the headline that I'm very proud of called Breastplate Gate, which is related to the last episode of The Mandalorian. Has anyone been keeping up with Mandalorian?
Yeah.
Assuming it's not like one in America that hasn't come out here yet. Yeah, I've watched the first 3 episodes.
Yeah, so in episode 3, there was they revealed a whole new sect of Mandalorians.
Yeah.
2 of them are women, and their breastplates have some cupping for their boobs, and people are not happy about this because they're saying like it. Yeah, basically it's like there's like insets that would hold where their boobs should be,
Which is not something that armor should ever have.
Exactly. And people are saying that like they're going from complaints of that nature to going all the way to sexism, which is, like I don't know how like as a white man, I don't really feel like I've got a dog in the race in terms of talking about the sexism aspect of it. But
well, as the resident Dara for this week, weren't they just wearing the armor from Clone Wars? Like, I mean, people say they've invented a new sect. All they've done is clarify that the Mandalorian is in a separate sect.
Yeah.
Like, the Clone Wars already existed. And, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but the difference is that, like, even if we're going by Clone Wars or even Star Wars Rebels, the armor wasn't as suggestive as this was. This would be.
I didn't notice anything for what it's worth, and I was like watching it to review it.
I'm going to try and find like a picture of it because when I watched it, I didn't notice it.
If you find a picture, can you share your screen because I haven't seen it and Google is giving me nothing.
Yeah.
If one of the 2 Star Wars fans here could actually give me the name of the character.
No, not Cara Dune, is it? Oh my god. I wrote it down 15 times. Like it's Starbuck. It's Starbuck. Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan.
How do you spell Bo-Katan?
Exactly how you think, but with a K.
You know what? Google's figured it out for me. Because like that's now. I can say without any doubt in my mind, I was not watching The Mandalorian to stare at boobs.
Yeah.
So,
okay, I can see what people are getting at here.
I got it. So this is pretty much what we're looking at.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, really, in the grand scheme of things.
But it's one of those things where, like, I think, like if you're looking at this as just from this perspective of the, I think if you're looking at this from the perspective of the individual episode, you probably just go poor character design.
Yeah.
I think if you're looking in terms of, if you expand it out to the Star Wars universe, you're going, well, this doesn't even make sense with other Mandalorian armor in canon because it doesn't really match up with the kind of armor that Sabine wore in Rebels. Doesn't match up with the armor that they wore in the armor they had in Clone Wars was nowhere near this suggestive either. So like it's one of those things where, like, on one hand I kind of go, this is just another example of Star Wars fans getting their panties in a bunch about something that doesn't really matter all that much, and at the same time I go, yeah, but it's not really a good look either.
It's kind of one of those that, like, I haven't seen any of The Mandalorian, but it's kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, that looks silly, but let's move on.
It's something to point out, but it's nothing to like kind of get up in arms. This, like, considering the amount of like titty armor that is out there, this is not really kind of to that scale.
It's not the worst I've seen.
Yeah. As far
it is,
like, I mean,
it
look,
is to be pointed out, but like, Why though?
Yeah.
Like I would still say that like it's still not as like egregious as like as what Alicia Silverstone had to wear for
Oh, the
Batman.
Batman and Robin. Yeah.
or what the men had to wear for Batman and Robin.
I was just thinking that. I was like, do I bring up bat nips?
Always bring up bat nips.
Hey,
Always.
look, when it comes to bad choices in costume, Batman and Robin has just about every bad choice there is.
In the best way.
Yeah.
Can I just bring up though, like, I mean, we're talking about kind of a character who people have been begging to see in live action since before The Mandalorian. So I really hope, like, I mean, I can understand where people are coming from. I hope this isn't the way, because I'm getting a serious vibe of this is why we can't have nice things. Like, I am hesitant about The Mandalorian going further into the Star Wars universe. I quite like it where it is, but they are literally giving Star Wars fans something they've been begging for. And you hear this and you kind of go, you know what? Just put the character that's going to appear next to they mentioned at the end of the episode back. It's not worth it. They won't appreciate it. They'll say the lightsaber handle is backwards or something.
Well, I mean, it's a classic case of like, it's what we wanted, but not how we wanted it.
Yeah. But I mean, again, look, it's the Star Wars fan base. They're a contentious bunch. Like,
yeah, that's putting it mildly.
You know, like, you know, it's like the classic Willie meme of like Star Trek fans and Star Wars fans are natural enemies. Like Star Wars fans and Battlestar Galactica fans are Star Wars fans and other Star Wars fans. Damn Star Wars fans. They ruined Star Wars.
That is correct, though.
It is. Like,
oh god. Anyway, I thought it was a good episode.
Like, oh man.
I thought that's worth bringing up.
Yeah. Like, I mean, look, it's always great to see Katie Sackhoff on.
Yeah.
And it was very cool. They like the other female Mandalorian was I can never remember her real name, but she wrestles for WWE under the name Sasha Banks.
Really?
It's just nice to see her kind of branch out away from wrestling, especially because they can't do Twitch anymore. You know, so like, I mean, I thought the episode overall was really, really good, but I mean, I think with the way I really like that, like the Mandalorian kind of does a very 1990s approach to storytelling in their show, where it's like every episode's is like hyper, like seems like very standalone, even though it's kind of like just like another entry in the story without having it being heavily connected. It's
absolutely like that. Like, it was clear from season 1 that this was like an absolute kind of lone wanderer Western story. Very much like the old 60s, 70s Hulk series.
Yes, that'll be my kind of point in comparison as well. Yeah.
Like it's been incredibly strong on that, like from season 1 and so far as season 2. Which also, by the way, for being a guy that actually likes spiders, this show had spiders that terrified me.
Can we talk about the last week's kind of Mandalorian? Because you just jogged my memory, Kev. Last week's Mandalorian controversy, where people were accusing Baby Yoda of doing a genocide.
Is that like the frog eggs thing?
Yeah.
Now this is Star Wars fans getting their panties in a bunch.
It is absolutely. Again, they're a contentious bunch.
If it ain't titties, it's genocide.
Yeah, I love how on the one hand it's like bring Palpatine back, and on the other it's cancel Baby Yoda. Like different standards for different characters.
Also, Kev, you have given the title for the show, by the way.
Got it.
Oh, who needs that on a t-shirt?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, sweet Lord.
But yeah, Kev's right. I was in a nervous ball on the floor when those spiders popped up. Oh god. And can I just say, like, it's thinking about the Mandalorian, like, it's if you go back to A New Hope, it wasn't sort of like the Fellowship of the Ring where it was building up this big mythology. It was just a collection of cool monsters and fight scenes and things with a loose plot.
Yeah, and ripping off Akira Kurosawa at every possible turn.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like
and
a
like
good director.
Yeah.
And for better or worse, Star Wars isn't that anymore. But I think The Mandalorian is. It's just a slice of weird, nerdy, crazy fun every week. And I like that it's stuck to its sort of here's a random story every week and not gotten that's what sort of seeing that character, Bo-Katan, made me a bit nervous about. But so far, they seem to be erring on keeping to what makes it good. So far,
but I mean, again, we're still very. I mean, I think one of the strengths of the show is that it has a very like low episode count per season.
Yes.
Which I think the more shows that do that, the better off they'll be, because at least like for me anyway, CW shows ruined me on the idea that shows should be should have over 20 episodes per season.
Yes, that's fair.
Supernatural has burned a lot of people for a lot of reasons.
Oh man, I mean, how can people watch that show anymore? I can't comprehend it. Like,
if they're liking it in a very sincere way for very specific reasons, and hopefully they've no shame.
In the most sincerely ironic way.
Yeah.
But you're right, though. It's because Star Trek Discovery goes out the same day, and this season's really good at that, but it's an exercise in contrast, because that's a big, complicated narrative.
Which is actually really surprising, considering how Star Trek was.
Exactly.
Very much like what The Mandalorian is, in that kind of episodic kind of adventure-to-adventure format, which when I first watched the first season of Discovery, kind of threw me for a loop. Like suddenly getting thrown into this blockbuster TV long stretched out drama. No, it turned out very well, but it's not what I was expecting going into it at all.
I think most people will react that way. Yeah,
it's really interesting.
So it's kind of like taking everything people liked about DS9 and going, oh, let's just add some steroids to that. And
that's it. And especially the last season of Enterprise, which is actually quite good because it's one big long narrative over like 20 episodes or so. But no one will ever see it because the first 3 series are the worst Star Trek has to offer.
Ouch.
Well, that's not completely fair, but it's a tough watch. It's Tired Voyager, which already had symptoms of being tired Next Generation. It's like a photocopy of a photocopy, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Star Trek 12. So
very tired. Why is the ship so cold?
What's up, Scott? I can't, Captain. I cannot reach the controls.
Oh, the Klingons again.
Always with the Klingons.
Oh my god.
I suppose we'll take we'll take this episode out of the far reaches of space and move on to the second of 2 headlines that we actually have for this show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Into mine, which is, and again, it's not so much an actual story, just so much as what feels like a new segment of Introduction where I just throw my curveball weird headline I find. And this week it is that Xbox Microsoft had to come out and on Twitter and officially ask people to please stop vaping into their new Xbox Series X's.
What?
So Xbox, the new Xbox Series X is out, and if you've seen it, it's the monolith with all the holes on top, right?
Yeah.
The big.
And that's all for
brick.
airflows. The brick, yeah.
The brick.
The fridge.
The fridge, yeah.
Not to actually, which you know what, I'll slide back to that if you remind me. Which, so that's all for airflow, and so people have it. Yeah, no, it's just a jet of air coming at the top, right? To the point where even people have put a ping pong ball on to save flow. But people being
people,
have decided let's do some cool vape tricks with all the air coming in their Xbox One. Leading to people and posting videos on Twitter and TikTok and that of just this sort of thing, leading some people to believe that this was a function fault with the Xbox seeing smoke coming out of it. People were like, hey,
that's where that came from.
People were like, hey, the Xbox Series X combusting. It's nope, people are vaping into it.
No, what would be amazing is if you vaped into one and it came out of someone else's. Like a completely different state of America or something like that.
Like the matter transporter?
Yeah.
not to be the old man of the room, but hey, maybe have fun with your new toy the way you're supposed to have fun with your new toy.
I don't think this is the way you're supposed to have fun with your new toy.
What I'm saying is don't vape into your Xbox.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
Hey, nobody's gonna tell me how I can use my sex box.
What?
Well, listen, vape into that all you want.
Yeah.
That's chill.
Look, it's just, you know, as a general rule, if you have any kind of consumer electronics that need a fan,
Maybe don't
generally
vape
not a
into
good
them.
idea to vape through it. Who knew? Like,
Bryn's wisdom of the day.
Like it's 2020. Do we really have to tell people this?
Yes.
You know, like
Yes, it's
seriously,
2020.
is this a disclaimer that we seriously have to put on things at this point in time?
See, because of me,
yes.
now they have a warning.
No. Yeah. Like again, there's a reason why in some hotel rooms, if you look, you can find a warning label on a hairdryer saying "Do not use and shower." That's not there by accident.
Yeah.
Now, that like I will play dumb devil's advocate.
That's
A
the
lot
new
of us-
segment.
Like, listen, a lot of us have been indoors for 5 months straight, and there comes a point where if you do vape, you just start thinking, "What if I vaped in it?" And it starts off with harmless things like a glass or some sort of Klein bottle that you may have. And yes,
Trying to create a Mysterio fishbowl with vape.
I bet someone's done that.
I'm gonna hold on while I just start scrolling through TikTok. What happens if I just Google the words vape Mysterio?
I have a feeling you're going to see a lot of Rey Mysterio things with that as well.
Not immediately, but before I finish, the autocorrect immediately asked me if I want to look for vape mystery box. Sometimes the loot crates expanding.
Okay, I think we're gonna have to start a new segment on this show called "Can I Vape Into It?"
And the answer is always probably not.
Yeah.
I mean,
Probably
technically yes,
not,
but
but
it's not
people
a good
are.
idea.
Physically, yes. Morally, no.
No. Yeah, I'm just going to put it there as a blanket thing. Do not vape on electronics.
That's
You know,
It's not a good idea.
no. Surprisingly, water droplets and electronics are not a good combination. So,
Oh my god. It's
Yeah, but-
what like can we actually talk, not to sort of spoil the vape fun, but like isn't there like a complete gold rush on finding PS5s and the new Xboxes now?
apparently,
Yeah.
so, oh, yeah. There's not enough of them to go around.
Is that by design, like when
it's
the
very much-
Nintendo Wii came out?
not. Doesn't seem that way. It more seems.
I think
like
it's
a
very much
scalper's market.
COVID related.
Okay.
COVID
Yeah,
related. And
think
then
it's
distribution
COVID.
lines would be affected.
COVID.
Yeah.
And also just like they'd like it as kind of the kind of the video game market keeps on swelling, demand's always going to keep rising, and again scalpers just have bought up the lot.
Scalpers go to scalp.
Yeah.
And
But I mean, I never thought it was a good idea to get a console when it launches because, like, they're
Yeah.
buggy, they've got problems. You know, I
Yeah.
usually wait like 2 or 3 years when they're cheaper and everything's been worked out.
Oh yeah, but like you can
Yep.
never gauge like the efficacy of FOMO. Like
Yeah, well, this is the thing, and the fact that we're in
Yeah.
second lockdown,
Oh,
people
absolutely.
don't have much else to do.
Hmm.
Plus, a lot of the pre-orders would have been people who have to get them for their kids for Christmas or whatever.
that as well. I did hear a story where because there has been some manufacturing issues with the Series X. Obviously there has been. It's a new consumer product.
Yeah,
Yeah.
anything is buggy when it first comes out.
But apparently, like the actual like the development process for it has been so slow, given everything that because like if so there's a manufacturing problem, you send it in. The repairs apparently are taking ages, but there is literally no replacements. So
What?
like, it's very much like you can repair it to an indeterminate amount of time,
Yep.
or it'll be January.
Yeah.
That's where they're at apparently right now.
that doesn't. Again, with the supply chain with supply chains for electronics as strained as they are right now, it doesn't shock me that like you basically can't get a replacement order through yet, because like if they have everything out for sale, they don't have anything to do a replacement with.
That's it. It's
Because
not like they're hoarding a couple of spares in the back. No, they're gone.
But it was
No.
the same situation over the first lockdown when everyone was buying the Switch. Like you couldn't get them, and it's not even a new console. You just couldn't get them because everyone was buying them.
Yep. Like
that's true.
Like I mean, with the weird thing is like Nintendo's very like outside of the like Nintendo has like a very bizarre business practices where they do really throttle how much is out in circulation, because I'm not exactly sure why it happens. There are people who say it's very cynical and they want to there have been criticism
like the Mario thing, the artificial scarcity, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and like, but again, I mean, again, it's one of those things where it's like Nintendo hasn't come out and said, well, actually, there's this, that, and other reason why we're doing it. So people are just left to think that they're just doing it for cynical reasons.
Well, I mean, Nintendo is such a big, successful company that they could literally make absolutely no profit for the next 15 years and still be totally fine. Like they don't have to do anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, but again,
they
do.
Insert your Pokemon joke on behalf of Lisa here.
Like it does seem like they're employing very strategic moves to like be a competitive market when they're kind of not a competitive market to most anyone in that sphere.
You take that back.
No, because they're playing a completely different ball game to Sony and Microsoft. Like they're part of the games market, yes, but they have cornered a very separate chunk of the market. They're
Animal Crossing.
They're not chasing like the graphical fidelity or chasing the PC market. They have got their own kind of they're chasing the family market, and there's no other console that's cornering that. So there's a lot of odd choices considering they're not in direct competition.
Yeah, but I mean, again, the historically, even without looking at how unique their position in the industry is, they're historically they've always been very conservative when it comes to the decisions they make. I mean, there's a reason why they haven't dropped. There's a reason why they haven't dropped a lot of mascots over the years. They've stuck with they made mascots and then they stuck with them. And if you look at most other video games companies, and like granted, like something like Sega has stuck with Sonic for better or worse. But, I mean, any of the other ones throughout the years, like your Ataris, your PlayStations, all of them, they had different mascots from time to time, but they dropped them. You know, they've been very deliberate and very like they seem to have a very thoughtful approach to what they do. But like, yeah, it's a weird one. Like I think when like I remember working in the GameStop when they released the NES Mini, and I always thought it was very strange that they allowed the branch I worked in to make 10 pre-orders for the NES Mini and then give us 9.
Yeah. Was that Nintendo or was that GameStop?
I would say
the new game show.
Every game, considering just about every GameStop in Ireland, all got less NES Minis than they had pre-orders for. I would say it was Nintendo.
But it's kind of like, how many pre-orders do you need? 10. Okay, I'll give you 9. Well, then why did you ask?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that was an awkward conversation. I pre-ordered this. Well, we don't have it. Like,
but you had advance notice.
That's a funny thing you said.
Yeah.
I don't think you understand. I want it, sir.
I don't think you understand. Here's your money back.
Oh my god!
Actually,
but
sorry, I said that wrong. Here's your store credit back.
That was
terrible. Shots fired.
Oh, don't worry. You can get plenty of Lee Marvin's pudding challenge with that.
Yeah. Plenty of carrots to go around for that.
My god.
Yeah, like you were going to say something about a fridge not too long ago, Kevin. What? Was
What?
that
Oh, yeah.
again?
Yeah, no, it's like, so, you know,
I'm-
after months of like the Xbox Series X's design having come out and people comparing it to a fridge, Xbox leaned in
Nice.
and built a fridge.
Nice.
Okay.
Like,
What?
Respect for that.
And like I think they only built one. As far as I know, they only built like one, and it was a competition.
Did they pre-order 10?
They're not Nintendo. They would have made
If
If
15.
it's an actual fridge.
They
Yeah.
built a fridge. It is an actual
Yeah.
fridge in the design of the Xbox Series X,
And it's full of beers.
Was it full of beer? I can't remember the exact details. But
If you put the beers in the holes, will they pop out the other ones?
Could you vape through it?
Like this is an actual fridge.
What a time to be alive.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
seriously. Who wants their Xbox fridge? I kind of want one.
What a good episode of Reeling in the Years
Yeah.
2020 will make, where it's like we were all stuck inside. We've got this fridge that was pretty neat.
Oh wait, hold
sorry,
on.
actually,
Yeah.
no, sorry. Addendum to this. Snoop Dogg helped create the fridge.
Here we
Of
go.
course he did. Of course he
Of
did.
all, I would have thought Snoop Dogg would be involved with the vaping bit. Okay, but all right.
Oh, wow, incredible.
Can you guys see that?
Like, yeah, that's oh wow, what a wonderful fridge.
Pure gamer energy. Hey, Katie.
Yeah.
That's an awful lot of tabs you got there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
I'm that
my
kind of
god.
person.
Yeah.
I am.
You're
Yeah,
draining all the
um,
Wi-Fi for your sector of Dublin.
Katie, I don't think we can be friends anymore.
We're friends.
Used to
This
be.
is real awkward.
Yeah.
You leave my many tabs alone. I'm Christmas shopping.
Look, if she's
what
using
wishes
all
are
of them,
for.
it's fine.
Please don't ever speak to me or my children again.
Yeah.
Now, the amazing thing is she has a second bar which has just as many tabs.
You leave my tabs alone.
You've also got a big window with so many tabs.
I don't know what that is.
If it's not titty, it's tabs.
There's your t-shirt.
That's
Oh,
welcome to
wow.
the Nerd to Know's new game show. 10 of your tabs.
This is the
This
last
is
time I
Eric
show
at
you
5
guys.
o'clock, guys.
This is the last time I show you guys something nice.
Yeah.
Truly, it's what we deserve.
Yeah. You know,
Oh my God.
we're scum, we suck. It's what we deserve.
Hey, since we're talking about Xboxes, are there any good games for it?
Yes.
Okay, because like if the most interesting thing about this Xbox is its vape capabilities and fridge capabilities, it's doing something wrong.
I suppose the specific question is there any good games exclusively for it?
Oh wait, do you mean for the new Xbox?
Yeah.
Well, but yeah,
Not that I know of. I don't think stuff's really been released yet.
There's a few out now.
What?
The one I am genuinely.
but it's out.
There is one game that I am still on the fence on, just because I don't know if it's time to play it. But the new Yakuza game looks rad as hell.
I'm
Every
really conflicted
Yakuza game
about.
looks rad as hell. So
I'm
This
really
one.
conflicted about the new Assassin's Creed because it looks exactly like the old Assassin's Creed, but with a Viking skin on it. But then
It said-
Aussie Man
yeah.
did a review that was amazing and actually made me want to buy it.
I played 3 Assassin's Creed games and just have not had the time or energy to be bothered with that series.
I played the first 2 and then I stopped and then I got back into it for Odyssey and I loved Odyssey, but I still have not finished it because they were updating it every 2 weeks for like 6 months after it came out and I was like, I don't have the time for this. It was
I've been tempted
huge.
by Odyssey, but that's just because of my Greek boner.
It's literally every single island in Greece and it's like, who has the time for this?
A lot of people in
but
Greece,
yeah,
I suppose.
the new Yakuza
drunks,
game.
the unemployable.
They have turned the beat 'em up brawler of Yakuza into a turn-based RPG where you are
Sign
now
me up.
where you are now a completely different character who is this like wild, just absolute like lame wad nerd with a giant afro, and his most defining character trait is that he loves Dragon Quest.
Oh wow.
I'd say it's
Oh, wow.
absolutely up my alley, and that's what's out on the Xbox right now.
You go, little dragon dude.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the devs for for the Yakuza games reached their peak when they made the Fist of the North Star game.
I did hear about that.
Oh,
I've only
man.
seen bits, and it just looks insane, even as far as Fist of the North Star goes.
Yeah, I mean it's everything. I would argue that it's everything anyone could possibly want in a single video game. It's brilliant. It has alcoholism. It has
something for the kids.
I have seen the clips of Kenshiro mixing. There's a mixology mini game.
Yeah, it's great. You know, it has mixology. It has violence. It has everything. It's great. It's all thanks to all games.
I would like to see what other video games you have, sir. If this is what you think every video game needs.
Hey, not enough games have it. Like Red Dead Redemption is probably one of the best walking drunk simulators you'll ever play.
Oh, that whole scene where you're in the saloon is just
where
solid
everybody's
gold.
Lenny.
It's just so good.
The only drunk game I've played, or game with drunk mechanics, is Mass Effect, and the drunk mechanics in that were weak.
Oh, but they're so fleeting.
But the dance simulator in Mass Effect 3 was amazing.
Oh yeah, that was class.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of Mass Effect, there's a remaster of the trilogy coming.
This is
Yes,
true. Yeah.
what console is it coming to? Because I couldn't find that.
It's coming to all of them. It's coming
All
to
of them, yeah.
the PS4, Xbox, PC, and I believe the next gens.
Yeah.
So not Switch then, I suppose.
No.
I don't because Bethesda is owned. It's Bethesda, isn't it? No, it's BioWare. It's BioWare.
It's
Never mind. I was mistaken.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think it's a game that would play tremendously well. In
I don't
mode.
think the Switch would handle it well.
The Witcher's on it though.
I think the Switch could definitely do like an upres of the originals. Now, if they're fully remastering it in 4K, the Switch ain't handling that.
No.
Well, the new Switch will, because the new Switch is going to be 4K.
I did hear about that. I don't know what the status is on that yet, but they are planning it.
Yeah, it's essentially it's going to be the same Switch with better motion controls and 4K.
Yeah, are they going to bring in Bluetooth headphones compatibility to it?
I don't know.
That's, I mean, to me, that's one of the biggest omissions from the Switch as it stands. Because, again, I find that especially if I'm on the move, I have Bluetooth headphones. I don't carry wired anymore.
Yeah. I think one of their biggest failings as well was that they didn't have like proper in-game or even in-console chatting. Like you have to download the app on your phone, and it's not great.
Yeah.
Well, I think Nintendo has always been a bit finicky with the online stuff, haven't they?
They've been very slow to adapt to it. It's probably been one of the things that like people are most critical of, is how poorly they adapted to the idea of having an online community.
Yeah, I've heard their server strength isn't even like that strong because, one of the big points of at least the last two Smash games that have been online, and apparently getting a match in that, unless you are on a stable LAN connection, has been next to impossible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we play, myself and Kean play Mario Kart every so often, and we do usually get kicked out a couple of times just due to connectivity issues.
That's right. I'd forgotten about that, and we have to like phone each other to talk, and that kind of stuff,
we usually
on Facebook.
Messenger or something. Yeah.
I know. I can understand to some degree because, like, if the online communities and stuff in like Halo or Call of Duty or whatever, showing my age, like if there's loads of kind of aggressive behavior, obnoxious stuff, it kind of lends itself to that. I think if that
you're gonna
degree
get that
came
everywhere though.
That's what I mean though. I think if you added that to like Mario Kart as a standard feature, I think it would kind of wreck some of its wholesomeness. Do you know what I mean?
So like me getting wrecked on a bottle of wine and chatting very aggressively doesn't ruin the atmosphere.
Yeah, I'm not sure I want to live in a world where a 6-year-old can call me a scrub.
Well, put it this way: when you go to like the Mario Kart waiting thing, you have like a list of very pleasant sentences and emojis you can send to one another. If there was voice or typing, I'm not sure if I would allow my kid to go online. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not saying there isn't a solution, but I'm saying that may be an ingredient.
As with anything kids and internet related, they should always be supervised.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bryn, if I may backpedal for a sec, you now have a child, so it is only a matter of time until a 6-year-old is in fact calling you a scrub.
And telling you to get wrecked.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really hoping that I can circumvent that by having them have a different vocabulary set. So
No,
We'll see what
no,
happens.
you know what? You start off by calling them a scrub.
Yeah, you got to establish dominance.
yeah, yeah. Well, no, again, it's like you just train your child like they're a dog, and
No,
it all
your
works out.
child trains you. I'm not
But
even joking.
You learn from them, Kim. Okay, you learn
N-
from your child.
No,
You
this
don't
is a
train-
cat molding you to do the
Yeah.
things that they need to do, whether they know it or not.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a
Absolutely.
cat that can speak, and its favorite word is no.
Ah, you've met Prim.
Are mine. Yeah. 2 favorite words: no, mine.
I don't know. If you ever meet my cat, it knows the 2 of those words.
Yeah.
Bagel will establish dominance.
Does it listen to those 2 words?
No.
Yeah. That's when you get the spray bottle out, Kev.
Bagel rules are Bagel don't care about the spray bottle. Bagel will stand there and look at you.
Oh, that's when you get the hose, Kev.
Enough with the
I
hose.
just pick up that chunk and just move them around. It's
Oh wow!
Bagel,
So look, seeing
Bagel
as
is
we've
chungus.
managed to steamroll our topics for this week for the first time in forever, how does people feel about going through the last, I don't know how many episodes of season 8 of The Simpsons?
Are we
Ooh, like
still on season
now.
8?
We have not touched it.
Yeah,
God,
Like,
how long
right
have I
this
been
second.
away?
it's still there.
I've been away for like over a month, and we're still on season 8.
Listen, I don't
It's a
think I'm-
very long season.
I was away for 6 weeks. And we were still on season 8. So
I'm gutted I missed talking about the Poochie episode.
I'm so upset
Yeah.
I missed Wild Mountain Time. I was like prepped and ready for that one.
It's not too late.
yeah.
Rosemary Muldoon.
Oh.
Which actually, as a palate cleanser, if you're looking for a really solid Irish film, I just got to see Wolfwalkers there the other day. It's the new, I couldn't tell you the name of the animation studio off the top of my head, but it's the new movie by the studio that did Song of the Sea and Breadwinner.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah?
It's phenomenal. It's about a young war girl who worked with a wolf back in like the olden days in Kilkenny, and it's basically about her fighting Cromwell.
Ooh.
It's so good.
So basically, like Irish Pocahontas, is what you're saying.
but good.
Yeah. Well, obviously.
Yeah, really, really solid. I don't like keep an ear out. It like I watched it through the Cork Film Festival website. They have a limited screening on their site. But like if you keep your ear to the ground, I'm sure they'll do another online showing for some film festival.
Sweet. Yeah, I
It
have to watch
is
that.
So worth it. But yeah, Simpsons.
Yeah.
Well, hang
Yeah,
on. Before we
Rob-
go into The Simpsons, can we talk about 2 big Netflixy things? They're not
Sure.
geeky necessarily, but since the rest of the world is, have you guys watched The Queen's Gambit yet?
Yes.
No,
Oh, it's
Yes.
so good.
that's the chess one, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Oh, is it the chess one? Oh my God, Kev, do you want to take
Oh
the lead on
boy,
this? 'Cause you've
howdy.
seen- Oh, when you get that, chess. They chess like champions.
We mentioned it briefly last week, but it only started at that point. But to be honest, I'm going to kind of just double down on what I said in that it's hitting the same beats for me as like a really good sports anime, where it's using chess as the baseline to kind of build on this emotional drama, and it's just really well executed. Like it doesn't get too into the nitty gritty of chess to kind of get you lost in like who cares about chess, but it uses it to kind of frame a lot of the things, and just like the rivalries and matchups that develop over the series, like you get very invested. Like they set up the Russian champion in like one of the first couple of episodes that she faces off against later on down the line, and it's all just very well set up and paid off.
Like a good game of chess.
Like a good game. And the one that surprised me, I was convinced that this was like based on a real story. It's not. It's fiction. It was based on a book, actually.
Oh wow.
Okay. Because it has such a sense of period that I assumed it was a true story as well.
It absolutely feels like it'd be like a non-fiction based off the life of someone, but no, fiction.
And it's the girl from Split, isn't it?
I don't know.
Have
Oh,
you seen Split?
I have, and I'm trying.
James
I'm
McAvoy thing,
I'm
yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
place faces, and I don't know.
I think it's her because I remember looking at her going, I know her face, I know it. And
She's got a very distinctive thinking face. Like, I can see why they kind of have so many multiple images of just her face over, like, the kind of Netflix waiting screen. Like, you know.
It is. I'm getting thrown for a loop with the red hair.
Anya
Yeah,
Taylor-Joy.
Anya Taylor-Joy. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
her.
Anya Taylor-Joy. Let's say filmography. Yeah, she's in Split.
Yeah, no, she.
So, fans of Split and chess, we have found the thing for you.
Checkmate.
If you like
The New
Split,
Mutants,
chess,
which-
or Haikyuu,
Yeah.
Queen's Gambit.
Speaking of kind of other familiar faces, I always forget this actor's name, but the kid from Love Actually, who was like in the Doctor episode Human Nature and all that kind of stuff, he's in it and he's class. Like,
He's good. I've seen him in one or two things before, like as an adult. He is cursed with child face though.
but like that's why, depending on the role, he can be really good. Like, he was a great Paul McCartney in the John Lennon film with the guy who played Kick-Ass for that reason.
I did not see. Like, I heard about the
Nowhere Boy.
in the movie.
Oh, right. She was in The Dark Crystal also.
Yeah.
But sorry, I was only thinking about this as well because I really like Haley Joel Osment came up, and yeah, no, like the two of them just got cursed with child face as like fully grown adults, and it's unfortunate.
Depending on how you use it, I
Osment's
suppose.
doing okay though, wasn't he in that Ted Bundy movie?
He was.
Oh, I'm
yeah.
sure he's doing fine.
was.
He like because he was it was only a bit part. The last thing I saw him in was The Boys, the first season.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in The Boys as well. Yeah. Yeah, he's doing all right.
I know. Again, I'm not saying that they're not talented. Again, he like the kid from Nanny McPhee, brilliant in Queen's Gambit, but he kind of still looks like a 12-year-old.
Well, here's something for you. Actually, the kid from Jumanji is like in his 40s now,
Oh wow,
and he's bald.
That's just sad.
Time happens, Bryn.
Yeah, I actually know somebody who knows him personally. Like, so he was also Chip in Beauty and the Beast.
No way.
Oh.
Yeah, his name's Bradley Pierce.
Okay. Well, I mean, you also got the kid, like, if this is just the segment we're in now, the kid from E.T. was in the first Haunting of Hill House, like.
He was the flashback dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the flashback.
That's it, yeah.
That was the
Man,
one. Yeah,
Haunting
he
Hill
was
House
Elliot.
So sad. Yeah.
Speaking of which, has anyone seen the second Haunting series yet? I haven't had a chance to do myself.
No, but I didn't enjoy the first one, so I didn't bother.
Oh, I loved it. I think you've a better threshold for horror than me, Katie.
No, I'm not big into horror. It was kind of, it started out really, really good. And then as it went on, it felt like they were starting to phone it in. And then by the ending, it was just like, oh, well, the house is just evil. And you're like, okay, yeah, but why?
Really? Because episode 6, the one episode, like, in one big take, I never felt like it was phoning it in, you know?
I think I enjoyed it up until the part where your one, like, turns out she was the bent neck lady, and then
that was the bit that locked it in. That's brilliant for me.
For me, I was like, okay, that just raises further questions, because how is the ghost of her in the future haunting herself in the past? That doesn't, somebody help me with this.
It's because she traveled back in time. So
as a ghost.
She's haunting herself.
Yeah.
That's the haunting.
You know, it's like the reverse of
the reverse vampires.
Yeah, or like there was a Black Box joke where it was like a film called Recursion starring Richard Gere,
yes,
where he has to travel back in time, to save himself as a boy, to stop himself as a boy from killing himself, so he can grow older, so he can travel back in time to save himself as a boy to stop killing himself.
Yeah,
and it's basically the inverse of that.
Or like I was watching an episode of Futurama earlier today where there's like a guy running for president, but it turns out he's from the future and he has to come back in time to beat Nixon.
Yeah.
So that the robots don't uprise and the world doesn't end. But then he wins the election, and because Nixon was never elected, he then ceases to exist, which means Nixon wins the election anyway.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, hang on a minute.
But like It depends because there's two. I mean, like, I'm not really an academic. Maybe Kev would be better to explain this. But like, there are two schools of thought for time travel, which is the predetermination, where
there are several schools of thought.
Oh, there's so many.
Okay,
Oh, there's
for
so
the
many.
purposes of sci-fi entertainment, it boils mostly down to two schools of thought, which is the predetermination paradox, where the thing you try and prevent ends up causing the thing to happen, and it's an infinite loop. Your bent neck lady scenario, or the complete opposite of that, where every time you change something, it creates a parallel universe, and like that's the butterfly, the Back to the Future. You've got bent neck lady or Back to the Future, and for the purposes of most fiction, that is your two picks.
Yeah.
I'm still grappling with you just calling me an academic. I don't know how to say that.
Yeah. You went to the college school of. Oh, we can't say it on the air.
Yeah. Okay. Listen, if this is like what I'm getting for doing.
I weighed up my options, and of the four of us here, I placed my hopes on you.
He said I
there
was
you go.
smart.
So you. Yeah, Steins Gate, that's another good one.
Me and Kean spent an hour trying to parse our way through a time travel plot, and this is where it got us.
Yeah, Steins Gate is the exception that proves the rule, because they use both. They have both predetermination and they have alternate. It's real head messery.
I think we should all just sit down and watch The Butterfly Effect and then be thankful that we're not Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah.
Or we all sit down and play Until Dawn and have a really fun time.
You can only play Until Dawn, then you have to stop.
Yeah.
Because you have to go to work.
Yeah.
Screw your rules.
No, you have to start playing it at night. We actually did that one time. We started playing it at night, and then we like played it all night, but then it was like 7 a.m. and we still hadn't finished it, so we were like, I'm going to bed, the Wendigos can wait.
Yeah. Funnily enough, Armored Skeptic did release a video explaining what the origins of the Wendigo could be, and like typically he tends to put up one which supports the theory and one against it, so this segment will age terribly. But it was very interesting.
In the Wendigo in the game or in general?
Oh, in general, like because he was going into the missing, is it the Moanoke tribe?
Yeah.
And like how
Yeah, it's a native. It's not Native American. I think it's Native Canadian. It's one of their legends, which is very interesting, actually, if you look into it.
Yeah.
Oh well, I mean, I liked his suggestion that it could have been a deer or a moose with the kind of equivalent of mad cow disease at the time, or something like that. Because moose do tend to kind of chase people up trees and just go mental, and they look quite spindly, you know.
Yeah. There's like because as well as that, I think like the culture. I remember reading anyway that like there's a big thing in like in the Native Canadian culture there was that like eating certain human organs gave you certain like enhanced certain things.
Oh,
so
like
eating
Ravenous.
someone's heart gave you power. Yeah.
That's a great movie, actually, Ravenous.
Yeah.
What? Well, I haven't heard of it.
It's Robert Carlyle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
that's a good
and
start.
he's a cannibal living in the woods, but it's like eating human flesh gives him like basically superhuman ability.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I mean again it's one of those things that shows up in cultures all over the world. Like I mean there's but like that was like that the idea was that like, oh, it takes heart because that's what it gets power from, blah 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 blah. And like I mean there's like with Wendigo there's been like I think those have been the two major theories though. It's like one, it's like tribes person got lost, went crazy, and then killed people it came across. And then the other one was just like, oh, it's just animals.
Or like an evil spirit.
Yeah, yeah. Well, again, I mean, evil spirit is probably just like old-timey way of saying mental illness. But
or have you considered ghosts?
But like those tribes and stuff, they would have been very spiritual. So when they say like, you know, it's an evil mountain spirit or something, they would literally mean like it's possessed somebody.
Yeah.
And bear in mind that like these legends coincide with the arrival of people into America as well. So it could be that people ate something there and went mad, or it could just be a reaction to seeing another culture in a suit of armor. You just don't know where these kind of things
well, again,
from. Like
these are also cultures that that heavily believe in having like a having milestone vision quests where you have to basically go off into a cave and you don't emerge back out again until after you've had a very traumatic sensory deprivation episode. And again, with all those kind of things, it does lead to people coming up with some very, very interesting intimations about what the world and the universe is, and then again, if it's also been a culture that has access to naturally occurring psychedelics, that stuff also feeds into their vision quest. And again, it's the reason why there's a lot of Native Americans that have peyote rituals.
Yeah.
Because, again, it's showing them something that they wouldn't normally see. And then they come back to their village and go, so I saw some things, and this is what we should do now.
Johnny Cash turned into a coyote.
Yeah.
He told me that I gotta find my soulmate.
Yeah. Exactly.
And with that Simpsons reference, I think it is fair to say we will not be getting to the Simpsons.
No.
But since we're not, can I throw some controversy in?
Always.
Okay,
Sure.
Okay. I say this because it seems to be the thing that's popping up a lot on my phone today, which could just be my algorithm. But anyway,
better uninstall that.
Yeah. Series 4 of The Crown has come out this week. And the fascinating thing is when I take a look at the English papers, some of them, they bemoan that it is like a fictional narrative trying to make some of the royals look bad in contrast to Diana. And then when I read the Irish papers, they're horrified that it illustrates how young Diana was. Like, she was 16 when she met Prince, oh God, whichever one of them he is. And
Charles, right?
Charles, thank you. I always get Charles and William mixed up. And like 19 when they got married and all this kind of stuff. And it's really, I don't know, I haven't seen a big conversation around a Netflix thing like this in a long time. Are any of you guys going to watch it, or are you going to weigh in on it? Or
my girlfriend watches it. I've never had an interest in watching The Crown.
Nah, I love Olivia Colman, but I'm gonna keep her in my Peep Show memories.
Yeah. And the Mitchell and Webb.
Oh yeah,
memories.
she's great in that.
Yeah. That's
great.
number Wang.
That is number Wang.
The only discussion, I've never watched it, but the only discussion I had was with my sister, who is just grappling with the fact with Gillian Anderson playing Thatcher and just having this moral quandary of having hot Thatcher.
I have seen
sexy Thatcher.
The sexy Thatcher thing going around the internet. Yeah.
Stupid sexy Thatcher.
I don't know why. She just looks like Thatcher. I don't know what people are like.
She does, but Gillian Anderson is very attractive by nature.
Yeah.
And it is a moral quandary.
Yeah.
It is not a moral quandary.
The thing that's happened here is that Gillian Anderson has brought her smoldering charisma to someone who did not have smoldering charisma. It's so
they're going to be studying that one on the X-Files.
Yeah.
It's as David Tennant once said in an interview about Billy Piper, it butters melody parsnips.
Amazingly, I've never heard that one.
5. Yeah, it was an interview from Top Gear.
Okay, well that explains a lot.
Yeah, and
as the driver of this bus, I think it is time we pull it into the station for this week's episode.
Really? You're ending on sexy Thatcher?
Yes,
Stupid sexy Thatcher.
We peaked at sexy Thatcher.
Yeah.
Pull downhill from here. So, wonderful show, but where can everybody find more of you wonderful people? Bryn, what is going on in the world of Bryn?
So, still working on the next episode of Tech Takeover. Again, having a child has slowed down the process to an almost halt.
What is free time anymore?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, outside of that, you can catch me on Twitter at CastBrainCast. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me for this week.
Awesome. Well, keep an eye on the feeds for Tech Takeover whenever that mightily comes back with a fury.
Yeah, it's anytime between now and later.
Hell yeah. So Cian, what's going on in your world?
The game corner is still kind of on a pause until some family stuff mellows out, but you can find my write-ups for each episode of Star Trek Discovery and The Mandalorian on Geek Ireland as they go out every week. They usually come out 2 or 3 days later because, annoyingly, the show goes out on Friday and then I review it and nothing comes out till the Monday. But yeah, if you have the time and you want to find out a bit more about the shows, give them a click. And thank you.
Awesome. And what's going on over in Universe, Katie?
Nothing.
Hooray!
No, doing it for the exposure is still kind of sporadically happening. There's no episode this week because we had some communication errors, but she'll be back next week. Fingers crossed. And other than that, you can find me on Instagram at mannequin_blue. I am currently not posting anything there because what is time anymore? If you want to keep updated, those are the places you can find me.
What is time? Baby, don't hurt me.
Okay, let's slow this down before it gets too sexy.
Yeah. We need a whole lot more Thatcher in here if it's going to get that.
When this
If
goes
it's
up on
not-
YouTube, someone edit that on.
If it's not titties, it's genocide.
Yeah.
Now we're back to Baby Yoda.
That's exactly what Thatcher would say, though.
Thatcher and Baby Yoda weigh in now. Did Thatcher eat frog eggs?
As Thatcher would
As
say to the
always.
coal miners. It's not
As
it.
Did she
always,
wear the
you can
armor?
I'm steamrolling this. As always, you can find me over on Anime Crash Course every month. Our last episode was on Monthly Girls Nizaki Kun. We'll have a new one up in the first Monday of December. You can also find me streaming D&D over on twitch.tv /Connor Rain, CONORAYNE. We're playing a Greek-themed Odyssey game. Ton of fun. And this has been Nerd to Know Basis. Thank you and good night.
Join us at nerdtoknowmedia.com.